Hello, this is Gene Thorpe from Little Red Rooster TV, and I'm here today with the Les Paul Memphis ES guitar. This is a very, very beautiful flame maple F-hold, very light 5.5 pound Les Paul type guitar made in Memphis, Tennessee at the Gibson ES factory, the Memphis factory. Now, one thing that makes Gibson guitars in general different than other guitars, going all the way back to the days of Orville Gibson, would have been the fact that he was kind of a violin aficionado. And so when you had Martin guitars and other brands that had round holes, Gibson's always had F-holes. And Gibson's always tried to have like an arched top. And they're great guitars. Now this particular guitar was never made up until just a few years ago. I think 2014 was the first year they ever made a Les Paul body in Memphis like this. They made a Florentine model F-hold Les Paul before, but this particular model, many people say it kind of is like a 335, and I would say I've had many 335s, that 335 guitars, Gibson ES 335s, are heavier guitars, and the reason why is because they've got a block of wood that's pretty big that goes down through the middle, and they're a bigger, heavier guitar. I think this guitar is more like the Gibson 330 model, which was completely hollow. Now this one isn't completely hollow, but the difference is that this one has a mahogany strip going down the middle of it, which is kind of narrow here. It broadens out around the pickups and around the tailpiece and back pickup, and because of that, that's how they keep the weight down there like this. Now this guitar also has a couple of other different features than more of the later model Les Pauls. This has a more rounded radius neck. It's a bigger neck, kind of like a 58 or 59 Les Paul, and it's got bigger frets than some of the later model ones. I think even on this 2016, 2017 model of this, it has a little bit smaller frets. So the other thing about it, it's got nice rosewood neck, fretboard, and the neck is actually made out of mahogany. The sides and back of this guitar are made out of mahogany. But here's where it really gets interesting. Gibson was sold from New Orleans, and some fellows bought Gibson in 1986. And at that time, Gibson Guitar Factory was in Kalamazoo, Michigan. They moved it to Nashville. And then in early 2000, they moved the ES series, all of the ones that have F-holes or all the ones with arch tops and that, to Memphis. And it's right on Beale Street. My wife and I had been there a couple of different times, different trips to Nashville and Memphis. We've been in the factory and watched them actually build the guitars. It's a very, very interesting thing. But one of the most interesting things about it is that there's a press that's there that makes these tops. And most of these guitars that have the maple tops like this they're 3 plies. 2 plies of maple and another ply of wood in between. They go different directions, and the press that makes them uses 1,900 pounds of pressure and 250 degrees of heat to form these necks. It was a press that was built in 1941, moved originally from Kalamazoo to Nashville, and then from Nashville to Memphis. I hear talk that they're going to be closing down the factory, which is going to make these types of guitars, these Les Pauls, pretty rare. Right now, a fellow can buy these, or a lady can buy these guitars at a very reasonable price for the workmanship and everything that's in them. Now, let's talk about the pickups. The pickups are like PAF style pickups, patent applied for pickups by Gibson, but they call them PAF-MHF, and I don't know if that stands for Memphis High Frequency or whatever it stands for, but I understand that these pickups are wound a little bit differently than the normal PAF, and they're very balanced. If you turn this guitar over to the treble side and switch it over to the bass side, it's very balanced. And then when you listen to the guitar, This guitar has got a little bit higher frequency. A guy on one of my videos recently told me I made my Rickenbacker guitar sound like a Strat. I would say this guitar can even sound kind of like more like a Fender, but even more than that, I would say it sounds like a Gretsch. This guitar would be really good if the Beatles were using it because it chimes. It's a chiming guitar. It's great for a vocal group like the Beatles, the Hollies, Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Buffalo Springfield type of a band where you'd hear a Gretsch a lot. This guitar will work. This one, as I say, has got a little bit larger frets, and the tuning keys on this are Kluson. They're kind of a vintage style of a Kluson, and they've got translucent pegs. So I do love this guitar. Here's a couple of little riffs. So this is Gene Thorpe, Little Red Rooster TV, the Gibson Memphis Les Paul ES Series guitar, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe.